You're back with Third Degree and our focus on Dr. Mamphele Ramphele's new political platform. We tackle policy, sexism and criticism that she's lost touch with her working class roots. So why the need for a new political platform?
eNCA stands for a reigniting of the dream that we fought for and that we realized in 1994, which has now become very, very faded for the majority of people.
Ramphele is positioning eNCA to fill the gap left by what she regards as the ANC's failures.
In terms of policies, we need to restructure the economy of this country, which is going nowhere anytime soon. We should be growing at 10% plus, but we are growing at a pathetic less than 3% of. And this shows what has been proven all over. Inequality is expensive for both the rich and the poor. So we need to make sure that our economy allows for greater participation by all of these people. We inherited a mining and an agricultural sector which was designed in a different era. They remain very important assets of this society, but they are not performing at the level that they should. We have enormously interesting models of transformation of the agricultural industry, but it is not something that's being rolled out and scaled up. We have to do that, not only because of the human rights issues that are involved, where farm workers are still in some areas being treated with disrespect, but also for the sake of the sustainability of those industries. You can't be sustainable if you are not leveraging the energy and the passion of the workers who are working there. But we also need to be thinking very seriously about rural towns. So we don't have this thing of people living as vassals on farms. We need to be creating nodes where farm workers can have a place they call home, irrespective of which farm they're working for. In the mining industry, we also need to be looking at recreating, and in the 21st century, real modern mining towns. Not the shacklands that we have seen that has given us the Maricanas. Rustenburg ought to be a huge metropolis, but who's paying attention to that? We still have this notion of an apartheid geography where white people live there, black people live there, the real lumpen live somewhere else. We need to transform our geography.
Habib says despite the yearning for change amongst some South Africans, it will take a monumental effort to succeed.
I think that, as you suggested, there is a layer of South Africans that are, I'm sorry to use the word, khatful. They are khatful at this moment, and they are looking for alternatives. Whether that would be substantive enough to swing a layer of people to eNCA or to the political formation that Mamphele represents, sufficient to frighten the ANC, I'm not so sure that we're there yet.
And Daily Maverick Associate Editor Ranjani Munusamy says it is not enough to simply articulate discontent prevalent in some quarters of South Africa right now.
What you need is somebody who's able to be able to bring something to the party, to be able to capture that discontent and provide solutions to it. You don't have anybody other than perhaps Zwelinzima Vavi who is able to do that at the moment. So unless she is able to replicate Zwelinzima Vavi, I don't see how she's able to capture that section of the electorate.
Ramphele has her detractors. Political blogger Gareth van Onselen called her new initiative the triumph of narcissism over strategy because of her refusal to join the DA. Author Johnny Steinberg reckons her sharpness could be her undoing. And journalist Tim Cohen says there is something of the scolding headmistress about her.
Well, it's very easy for anybody in a moment like this to find the negatives. I believe that we should be judged by what we are going to do on this project. I'm simply inspired by a dream and by the wonderful possibilities that this country has to offer.
Clearly, there is an element of sexism in this criticism. Munusami believes being a woman could, however, be a significant advantage.
Being a woman is possibly her biggest strength because of the state we are in now, with this rampant sexual abuse and the horrific rape statistics. And you find that while the ANC is responding, while government is responding, there is nobody yet on the political scene who is able to capture and articulate what needs to be done.
And what of perception that she is removed from her working class roots and has no base?
What is very interesting is that I came from a village. The fact that I am a successful professional, instead of being something that the country celebrates, seems to have suddenly become a problem. It wasn't a problem when I started clinics in the Eastern Cape and in the Zanin area, and also when I worked on the Cape Flats here. Why was I able to do that with my... It is actually, there is a subtext here, which is that instead of celebrating education, professionalism, and excellence, those are now being put forward as obstacles to communicating with people. I've never stopped communicating with people in my village. I've never stopped communicating with people in the townships. I've never stopped communicating with people who are of working class background. I am a product of two very humble primary school teachers, but they taught me to reach for the sky and at the same time to keep my feet on the ground.
But is political credibility enough? This was the question we put to Adam Habib.
I think what she needs is clearly an organizational infrastructure. You can't get votes unless your people are in every little township and in every street in this country. I think Mamphele has the political credibility. Does she have the resources and does she have the organizational footprint? That's the big question we have to wait and see in the next couple of months.
But in the fickle world of politics, where a week is a long time, she will be judged on her power to inspire people to action.
Ahang is a young flower that is opening up. Every week you're going to see a new side of the petals coming forward. We are aware of the urgency, but we really do believe that it will pay huge dividends to build this up, bottom up, and to give it the time, like a poikikos. If you put too much fire around the poikikos, you just end up with a burnt something. Slow cooking is what's going to make this a real lovely dish for the rest of the country.
Coming up, branding experts examine whether Mamphele has what it takes to take on the ANC.